So to my surprise, Stasis Titan has become one of the most dominant ways to play PvE in Destiny 2 at the moment. For the most part, Stasis on the Titan class has always had its places, but never, in my opinion, truly dominant like it is now. Some of that has to do with some of the recent changes we saw in update 9.1.5, and of course the maybe something isn't working as intended line is going to be dropped here because, yeah, more on that later in the video. But for those of you who may worry that this build can only work due to that potential unintended bug, you can breathe a sigh of relief because there is actually zero reason, since this build has so much more to it than just focusing in on that bug. Now, before we jump into it, I just want to say, if you enjoy the content and want more from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when my next video drops. Tons of Destiny 2 and Battlefield 6 content to be excited about, so you surely do not want to miss that. But with that out of the way, let's talk about some of the changes we saw to the Stasis Titans. So in update 9.1.5, we got some changes and buffs to abilities. The most notable on Titan was to Stasis. While there are some stuff we are leaving out, all of it is nice for the most part. So Shiver Strike on Stasis and the Prismatic Melee for Titans. Whiffed Attack now returns a flat 80% energy in PvE, and if you're wondering, it's 40% in PvP. How the Storm aspect saw some changes, now grants 2 melee charges. They also changed Stasis crystal spawn pattern and added 4 more crystals. This is going to add 8 total crystals to our slide, and this now slows enemies instead of freezing them, which I do think is a nice thing, but at the same time, you'd still easily freeze people. I don't really know what they're going for here, but maybe it's just to be a wombo combo, not really sure there. They also changed Tectonic Harvest aspect. Stasis shard creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE. Yeah, that's kind of wild. These are all great changes, but those aspect changes are just flat out diabolical in the best way possible. And if you pair this with the right exotic, you stand out as an unkillable ice tank. And thankfully, we do have the perfect exotic in mind. Icefall Mantle is going to be the GOAT here. Its exotic perk, Glacial Guard, reads like this. While you have a Stasis super equipped, Rapid Stasis Final Blows grant Frost Armor. You heal a small amount whenever you gain Frost Armor and replaces your class ability with a burst of Stasis energy that freezes nearby combatants, slows nearby opponents, and grants you increased Frost Armor. The specifics on how this perk works is as follows. Restores 10 HP per stack of Frost Armor gained. Glacial Guard cast grants a maximum Frost Armor stacks to the user, which restores 50% HP or 80 HP while Whisper of Rhyme is equipped. And with the amount of crystals you are going to be making, this exotic is the perfect combo of what we have here in the build. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump into game and show off that build you will want to be using. So here we are in game, and first of all, look at the drip. It is a sleek, nice ice boy right here. Yeah, I really like this drip. Comment down below your thoughts. So let's jump in to the subclass. This is Stasis. There's not much supers to choose from. There's not much melees to choose from. So yeah, when it comes to our barricade, we're having Towering Barricade here. Doesn't really matter because Icefall Mantle will automatically select this for you. So yeah, you can't really put Rally Barricade. This doesn't really matter. Our jump, High Lift, because yeah, greatest jump ever to be there. Shiver Strike, because it's the only melee option we have here. Doesn't really matter. You're not going to use it too much. And then we have the Cold Snap Grenade. I actually prefer Cold Snap here more than Glacial Grenade. I know some people could think, hey, Glacial Grenade, you shatter them, build the crystals and shards and stuff like that. Frost Armor. We have so many shards here. You don't need to worry about Glacial Grenade. Honestly, Cold Snap just flows a lot better with the aggression we're having with the Titan here and with some of the aspects we have down here. We get it back pretty fast, even though our stat is 24 at the moment. Aspects, Have the Storm. This got really good. And basically what you're doing is you run, you slide, you hit your melee, and you spawn these crystals. It is really good. They up the count like we mentioned before, and this is honestly a must-have aspect alongside Tectonic Harvest. Basically, when you collect these shards, you get melee energy for you and your allies if your allies pick them up. And then while Tectonic Harvest is equipped, picking up Stasis shards grants a stack of Frost Armor, which is very nice. This is a great combo and what makes this build so goddamn fun. Now, first up, let's talk about a fragment you can replace if you want. I really like it here, but again, some people might want to min-max damage with their shatters. So yeah, we'll talk about that pretty soon. So Whisper of Torment, you gain grenade energy each time you take damage from targets. Having Frost Armor increases the amount of energy gained. Yeah, I like this because again, our grenade stat is 24, which isn't helpful, and it helps us with some of that stuff there. You can use Whisper of Fissures to replace this if you want. Again, if you want to min-max some of that damage. Next to that, we have Whisper of Rime. This is an essential fragment. Your Frost Armor has increased duration and maximum stat count. And what this does is basically increases your stat count from 5 to 8 Frost Armor, which is nice because, yeah, more heals, more Frost Armor, the stronger you are. Next to that, another fragment is Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track to your position. This is nice because it always feeds shards into you, which helps you with health, which helps you with regen and stuff like that. Also, plus 10 super, great plus 10 to have to your stats. The plus 10 health isn't really important in my opinion. And then lastly, a Whisper of Shards. Shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade regen rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of this benefit. Really good stuff here, and really goes with what we're going for here. Again, Whisper of Fissures, if you want to replace Torment, be my guest, but I really like what we're working with here. Loadouts, real quick. Pretty essential, but also not essential. Use what you want to use, whether that's building into champion mods, building into other stuff. Right now, I'm really only built into Overload. I kind of have to spam an anti-barrier, which is a choice, I'll say, but some of the portal activities I've been playing hasn't had any champions, so I haven't had to worry about that. But again, loadout should be what you want, what you're playing, what you need to worry about when it comes to champions, stuff like that. Of course, some of this will affect your siphon selection and your ammo generation selection, but for the most part, loadout is really up to you here. So for our armor mods, let's jump in and talk about what we're working with here. We have 2 super fonts. Basically, this will be each font is a plus 20. If you add a third one, it'll be a plus 10. So in total right now, we have a plus 40 to our super stat, which is putting me at a 184, which is really important to what we're going for here. And then we have Radiant Light, just because we're going to be casting our supers, and hopefully we help our buddies out, even though I just think that's kind of a wasted mod. Yeah, arms. We have a melee font, fastball to help us with our cold snap throw, and then we have a heavy-handed if we are using our Shiver Strike. This is pretty nice. I don't know how consistent heavy-handed is with some of that Howl of the Storm shatter, so it might be a negative there. You could technically just double up here and get even more, but yeah, we're just using heavy-handed. Orbs are kind of nice. Chest, we have sniper, damage resistance, and concussive dampener, and then for our primary ammo is a solar weapon, we have solar ammo generation. For our legs, we have 2 stasis weapon surges for our fusion rifle. Again, you can put 2 surges here. It can be whatever you need. And then we have elemental charge, pretty much collecting stasis shards. Has an escalating chance to give you an armor charge, which is really nice for some of those fonts and other things with what we're playing with in our mods. And then for our mark, we have time dilation to extend the decay of our armor charge, and powerful attraction automatically collects nearby ores of power when you activate your class ability. Again, not too much here. Could be used. You could maybe switch to a finisher, maybe with the amount of stuff we're using. But again, just in case we are dealing with orbs around us, this is pretty nice. And then we have outreach, but nothing too crazy. Kind of the fonts are really what make this and build into the stats. And let's talk about the stats right now. So the main 3 stats you really want to work with here is going to be intellect at number 1. The more you increase the damage, the more potency you are in with your super, and the faster you obviously get it when you're reach 100. But yeah, the numbers you can get when you are maxed out with some of this super fonts and things like that makes activities really easy. We'll be showing that pretty soon. And then when it comes to our melee font, yeah, we're going to be going up to a plus 54, which is going to boost our damage a little bit more, helps us with our slide stuff. Super melee, that's the 1-2 combo you need to worry about. And then honestly, if you want to get weapons to 100, I recommend it. If you want to take away some stuff from your weapons and put it elsewhere and then max out super stats, be my guest. Weapons at 100 is recommended by me, but if you want to go a little bit lower, be my guest and have a blast with what you're doing there. And then lastly, let's talk about the artifact real quick. Honestly, Shield Crush is the one that is essential here. While you have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, or Void Overshield, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. So again, has some of that melee stacking stuff, which is technically uncapped in a way, and then you're always having Frost Armor, so you get it back faster. So again, lots of stuff here to kind of benefit what we're going for. And yeah, Shield Crush is the main thing in the artifact you truly want. Also, I believe one with the frost is nice, but nothing too crazy. And then Refresh Threads works technically because Stasis Shards are elemental pickups, and then Fever and Chill, I guess. But yeah, nothing too crazy there. That's pretty much what we're working with. Let's jump out and show you the testing of this unintended potential bug going on. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy the build, but yeah, let's jump in and talk about testing numbers. The biggest way to maximize your potential with this build and super is going to be using Howl of the Storm aspect ability when you cast your super. The reason for this sudden juice and power is something I have no idea, but I'm also not complaining. So disclaimer here, the stats in this testing will be based on what you just saw in the breakdown. Now, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I have one less super font, so the damage numbers are going to be off a little bit, but again, around the same ballpark. So these are ideally why you want to chase kind of what we're going for, but also I'm pretty sure in this testing I don't have the enhanced benefit, so yeah, it's still really good. So when using Howl of the Storm slide melee, no super, the damage here from the shatter and things like that is sitting around or at least below 300. I didn't see anything outlying above it, maybe a 347 at one point, but again, this is really around the ballpark you're going to be working with. When you cast your super and do the melee from Howl of the Storm, those numbers sit around a 1300, and at some points I even saw a 1997 being seen, which is insane. Now, if you want to be crazy and build solely into juicing your super damage, throwing on Synthoceps, which gives us a 50% increase to our super damage, I got to the number of 2460 with a consistent 1990 critical. Yeah, this shit absolutely rocks. This is an insane way of playing, and if you're wondering how this fares against Super's normal melee, well, look at this. Not even close. I certainly think that this may not be working, again, as intended, like I've been mentioning. Maybe melee and super damage numbers are just flat out stacking on top of one another, who knows, but use it, have some fun. This can make most content easy since they're going to be ground-based bosses, unless you're dealing with a floating meatball, which at that point, just get wrecked. But you should be crushing through pretty much majority of portal activities, even some of those conquests with this. Everything here is new gear, and you can make everything new gear, so there's no reason to not even use this in conquest because it is a cheat code. It is easy, it is powerful. I'm gonna say it's the best build you could possibly use to kind of cheese the game at the moment. Now, pretty much that's gonna be all I have to say on this one. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop this video a like, helps with the video a ton, and if you want more from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when my next video drops. If you're looking to pull this build for yourself, a dim link will be posted below, and alongside that is going to be a Mobalytics link if you want to use that instead, whatever is easier for you. But thank you for watching. As always, it's greatly appreciated. Until next time, ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.